kind of on the, going a little bit around the strange bend in the road. And so I didn't want to encourage that kind of doubt. And so for about 3 years, I didn't tell him until I shared it with a couple of friends who said that was whatever we had given, the message I had given them, they said was really helpful, and that I should actually compile them. And so for the next few years, I compiled it into a book and a card set, and started a little angel business. And so, so that was a really wonderful experience.
And so when you received these messages and you wrote them down, how were you helping other people or interacting them into your daily life?
Well, that came a little later. So when I published the card set the first time in 1995, and then in 97 the book came out, and I did another book and card set from that. So then I started just sharing them with people. That was right in the midst of that. There was a huge angel craze that happened back in the late 90s. And so they were, they were kind of popular, but a lot of other angel things came out at the same time. And I was not, I wasn't really trying. I was trying hard, but I was trying as hard as I knew to try. I did ads and that kind of thing, but the marketing piece was not one of my strong points. And so that it was not a hugely successful business, but over the years, I mean, that's been a long time now. And I have a website, shantagabriel.com, where I share the messages on my blog, and I send them out to my membership group, and I send them out to people from on my list. And so it's small, I'm not world famous particularly, but I do have some people who really appreciate them. And so, and I do private sessions also where I'm sharing the guidance that comes through.
Oh, I see. Now, I'm very intrigued. When that guidance comes through, and let's say you're doing a private, how do you happen to either select or cater to that person in front of you with whatever they have going on?
Well, I really believe in the power of prayer. I believe that when we open our minds and hearts and we ask for guidance and we ask for support, that we have spiritual resources that actually come through, and that we are given that support. And it's kind of, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze, I think. My nose is itching like it's going to sneeze. It's like, for instance, your message, when you ask to be a receptacle for divine light, that's really recognizing that there is this empty place. There's a place inside that's waiting to be filled up with that pure love and infinite intelligence that is the divine resource that works with us. And so when we ask that to be filled, we become a luminous being with the ability to have the compassion and the awareness and the guidance to go in the direction that person needs. I always pray that whatever we say will be in the highest good of that person. And so that's whatever I do, that on the table or, wherever we have our sessions. And I just really believe that by inviting that level of support and attention and help, that it comes through that way.
Wow. Yes, it makes sense. It's very, very intriguing. Have you ever experienced a moment where, either in your healing sessions or basically in any of your sessions, where the person that you're giving the healing to or the reading to has received it in more of a negative way?
It's rare because, if anybody goes to my website, it's really obvious what it is that I do. And if they're not a believer, if they don't feel that they even are interested in that kind of attention, they won't even sign up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what do you say to those who are skeptical and, nah, she's bonkers, that's not what happened, or she's seeing things? Like, what do you say to those?
Well, I don't have much experience with that recently. It's just not an issue anymore. But it used to really cause me distress, because I wanted people to be able to have enough of an open mind and heart that they would be able to receive their own spiritual guidance and connect with their highest self, their soul voice. And that's what I'm more paying attention to now. Is I'm teaching an intuition class, and we go over that kind of thing. And because one of the things that Archangel Gabriel used to always say as the importance of connecting to the higher self was really pivotal in being able to receive inner guidance and to trust your intuition. So I teach people how to connect with themselves. And I haven't had anybody say that it didn't feel true to them, for a really long time. The people who are skeptical don't want to spend money, for one thing, or waste their time when they don't believe that who I am and what I'm working with is something valuable for them.
Okay. That makes sense.
Sure.
Especially when you if there's a fee and I'm skeptical, I'm not going to go. Like,
yeah.
If I don't know what I want to order, I won't order something random.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Is this a new territory for you?
Well, the archangel sighting and messages, yes, that is something. I mean, I grew up in a Catholic family. You hear, and through that went to a private school my entire life, from like preschool all the way up. And so you hear and you learn about teachings of sightings that people have gotten throughout the years and
Sure.
such. But it's one of those things where you heard it in school, so it's happened way back when to someone in a foreign country or such.
That's right. Right.
There's not many, and not to say that there aren't others, but that's not in the lesson plan. The lesson plan is to teach you the history of what has happened. But I don't doubt it. I mean, there are a lot of people that say today have either had moments like yours or a miracle has happened. And so I have a very wide, and I hope the listeners too as well, have a wide and open mind for all the things that may or may not be out there.
Yes. Well, I think that the people who have gone to Catholic schools have a much more open mind than a lot of other kinds of religions, that because they already believe in archangels and that we have helpers, that angelic helpers that's a part of the tradition. So when I was teaching down in Louisiana, and they really loved me, and it was because everybody was Catholic, mm-hmm. and I had never had that interaction before. So because I didn't grow up in any particular religion, and so that actually made it easier to have an open mind. But it also, I don't know if you could be prepared for something like this, but
right.
Yeah.
Well,
that's good.
While this was all happening to you, did you have any self-doubt? Like,
well, oh, yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. but I just had to keep, when I shared them with my friends and with other people, it was so startling to find that people really benefited by the message that I gave them. And so that started to build my confidence level. But I think, that I think that's sort of, I'm kind of a shy person anyway, and so it isn't one of those things that I would just be out in the world talking about unless I had been pushed. It felt like I was really pushed into doing this work, and it wasn't something that, well, I certainly, when I was praying for a new work and that fulfilled me and a path in life that would be beneficial and serve all humanity. I mean, those are the kind of words that I was using. I wasn't really planning on it being angels, so I had a lot of doubt around just the weirdness of coming out with that kind of thing. I don't think that people feel that way so much anymore, but back then they sure did.
Right. Wow. Do you still get sightings to this day?
Sightings, not so much, but messages, yes. So I can feel the presence, and I think that that's really all that they needed me to do is to have the sense of what it felt like when they were around me, and that sensitivity level is very helpful and able to then I can trust that what I'm receiving is something more expansive than my normal waking consciousness.
I see.
Mm-hmm. And I do a little ritual with it. I don't just, they're not just talking to me all the time or something. I have to prepare myself to be a worthy vessel, to receive, so that way I can trust it.
Mm-hmm. You said that you weren't really raised with any religion, and you're going, and your teachings, has that changed from the sightings? Has it changed a little bit on a particular religion?
No, I do not consider myself a religious person at all. I'm very, very spiritual. I believe that we have a higher power working with us all the time. And I believe in the power of prayer, and I believe in devotion to the light of God, and working with that. So, but that is not a religion. Okay. And the organizational piece of it is always the one that's where I get kind of bogged down in religions.
Right. So you see yourself more spiritual and not religious.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. That makes sense, especially if you're getting sightings. Oh, wow. I mean, I say that makes sense, but it doesn't, and it does. It's one of those things where you really have to be open and wrap your mind around it. Like, wow, this woman experienced this. Shanta experienced this throughout her life and is still experiencing and able to help and heal people because of it.
Yes. And the healings come they're through me, but they aren't from me, and so any assistance that I give is not me personally, but I do ask to be a clear channel for that.
And when you do healings, is it anything particular? Like, is it something like you typically only get people that are facing emotional struggles or physical struggles?
Yeah. Not so much the physical struggles, but people who are on a choice point, or they're in the midst of transitions in their lives, and they really want to have more support on those levels. I'm getting. Have you ever heard of the Saturn return?
No.
So in about. So in astrology, that there is a time when about 27 to 28 years. Every 28 years, we have